Serious, what is the harshest truth you've ever learned? When it comes to grief, time does not heal all wounds. It dulls it, but one trigger and it floods back. I learned this after my dad and grandma died in 2015. Sad, I know, but I resent the fact that people kept telling me I wouldn't feel it one day. I think we need to be honest about that, so people know how to cope with grief in the right way, and not hold out for a day when it won't be there lurking in the shadows. Edit. Oh my goodness. I just woke up, and I'm completely taken aback by the amount of comments, support, empathy, love and understanding. I will do my best throughout the day to read every reply. Truly, thank you for the awards. And thank you especially for sharing your experiences, thoughts and meaningful quotes with me. Reddit is really something special, and so are all of you beautiful humans. I'd like to share my all-time favorite Reddit comment here, if that is okay. Alright, here goes. I'm old. What that means is that I've survived, so far, and a lot of people I've known and loved did not. I've lost friends, best friends, acquaintances, co-workers, grandparents, mom, relatives, teachers, mentors, students, neighbors, and a host of other folks. I have no children, and I can't imagine the pain it must be to lose a child. But here's my 2 cents. I wish I could say you get used to people dying. I never did. I don't want to. It tears a hole through me whenever somebody I love dies, no matter the circumstances. But I don't want it to not matter. I don't want it to be something that just passes. My scars are a testament to the love in the relationship that I had for and with that person. And if the scar is deep, so was the love. So be it. Scars are a testament to life. Scars are a testament that I can love deeply and live deeply and be cut or even gouged, and that I can heal and continue to live and continue to love. And the scar tissue is stronger than the original flesh ever was. Scars are a testament to life. Scars are only ugly to people who can't see. As for grief, you'll find it comes in waves. When the ship is first wrecked, you're drowning, with wreckage all around you. Everything floating around you reminds you of the beauty and the magnificence of the ship that was, and is no more. And all you can do is float. You find some piece of the wreckage, and you hang on for a while. Maybe it's some physical thing. Maybe it's a happy memory or a photograph. Maybe it's a person who is also floating. For a while, all you can do is float. Stay alive. In the beginning, the waves are 100 feet tall and crash over you without mercy. They come 10 seconds apart and don't even give you time to catch your breath. All you can do is hang on and float. After a while, maybe weeks, maybe months, you'll find the waves are still 100 feet tall, but they come further apart. When they come, they still crash all over you and wipe you out. But in between, you can breathe, you can function. You never know what's going to trigger the grief. It might be a song, a picture, a street intersection, the smell of a cup of coffee. It can be just about anything, and the wave comes crashing. But in between waves, there is life. Somewhere down the line, and it's different for everybody, you find that the waves are only 80 feet tall. Or 50 feet tall. And while they still come, they come further apart. You can see them coming. An anniversary, a birthday, or Christmas, or landing at O'Hare. You can see it coming, for the most part, and prepare yourself. And when it washes over you, you know that somehow you will, again, come out the other side. Soaking wet, sputtering, still hanging on to some tiny piece of the wreckage, but you'll come out. Take it from an old guy. The waves never stop coming, and somehow you don't really want them to. But you learn that you'll survive them. And other waves will come. And you'll survive them too. If you're lucky, you'll have lots of scars from lots of loves. And lots of shipwrecks. It is said that people die twice, once when they pass, and again the last time someone ever remembers them. If the pain of loss is the price of keeping them alive, then it is a price worth paying. Finding peace with that is the important step. May you find it one day. Edit. Hey folks. Thank you for all the kindness. The first part is a quote I heard, but I can't remember who it was from. // apparently I paraphrased it. Here's the original from the movie Stand Up Guys. They say we die twice. Once when the breath leaves our body, and once when the last person we know says our name. // The second part is my own thought on the subject. I've never seen Coco, I know, it's totally my fault, or read a story about a fairy named Snowdrop, but I promise you all, I'll add them to the shortlist. Thank you for the kind comments, and I hope the message spreads through you all, to give comfort to others that are hurting and who have lost. Life is short. You grow up hearing this over and over again, but until you reach a certain age you don't have the perspective to fully grasp this. Life is short. But it's the longest thing you'll ever do. Ultimately, you must stand alone, and what your loved ones think about you doesn't matter. In the end, you are you, and that is enough. Sucks if you're caught up in getting likes and reactions in social media. That even your best friend can turn into a stranger rather fast. Edit. Wow, thanks for the replies / awards a lot. It's nice to see I'm not the only one. I hope we all learn to move on / live with it. It can go the other way too. A stranger can be a best buddy in no time. My girlfriend's friend's boyfriend is a guy I met once. The girls are now long gone, but I'm on year 10th of hanging with him near daily. This happened at age 28. I made a comment already, but I'll make another one. It's tragic to see how fast relationships can get redefined. It's painful to learn how quickly a cumulative amount of experiences and love can become dust in the wind moving forward. For me, it was my fault and just changing life circumstances. I lost my 2 closest friends, and I became somewhat bitter, which didn't help things. They reprioritized their lives, and decided I wasn't in that picture. You think that people will give you a chance at redemption, or that maybe they'd give you some kind of hint that you're pushing them away. But that really isn't how life always works. Miscommunications happen, sometimes there isn't any communication, and you're now a stranger. I regret every moment I did end up pushing them away, but what was most painful about all of it is that I never was clued in until I was out in the cold. The cold truth in life is that no one will ever care about you as much as you have the ability to about yourself. If you don't even value yourself, well, no one is going to find it easy to do it for you. Without help, trauma never goes away properly. I know this is frowned on, but thank you for the awards, they are much appreciated and make me smile. However, if you were considering a paid award, please instead donate that money to either your local mental health aid or your local animal shelter please. It can do so much good. Thank you all for your wonderful responses. Your life is actually comically short, and it wasn't meant to feel long for your convenience. If you're 16 or older you've started feeling that uncomfortable feeling that a year is much shorter than you thought. You can speak as many languages as you want, have multiple degrees and certificates and still be rejected at the simplest of jobs. People judge us by our actions, not our intentions. This follows the saying the path to hell is paved by good intentions. When someone dies you are never seeing them again. The day my partner died I fell into my bed at night and cried my absolute heart out knowing I would never hear her voice again, and it destroyed me. My bedroom was so quiet, dull, and hollow and I just felt hopeless. That was 6 years ago, and I can vividly remember my surroundings and feelings from that moment. That is absolute truth. I'm only 8 months into dealing with my partner's death, and the empty space next to me in bed still has weight to it. Loving someone unconditionally and being willing to do anything for them doesn't mean that they will feel the same way about you. You can't love someone into loving you back. From birth to death nobody has to spend more time with me than I do myself, so the only person's approval I need is of my own. I'm alone. Same. My harsh truth was realizing my funeral will be empty unless I die before my one surviving parent, that is. Hell, there might not even be a funeral. If I die at home, my corpse won't be found until they come to evict me for being late on rent. Stop worrying what others think. Most people are so caught up in themselves they barely know anyone else exists. Don't let your ego convince you that anyone gives a rat's ass about what you're doing. Of the few out there that do care, even fewer of them can do anything to either help or harm you. If somebody doesn't want to be helped, you can't help them. This one hurt with a suicidal brother. I just lost my brother to suicide last month, a day before his 29th birthday. He was my only biological sibling. Thank you for writing this. Sometimes you are the bad guy. Everyone is someone's bad guy. Edit. When you wake up in the morning to find a bunch of PMs and DMs whining about how you're a good person and couldn't be a bad guy. That makes you my bad guy. Are we the baddies? In a relationship, love is not enough. I need to protect myself at all cost, not just the physical part of me, but also the emotional and psychological part as well. Even if you treat someone really well and you both love each other, it doesn't always end like a Hollywood movie. Sometimes there are too many obstacles. My dad is a terrible person and I'm not immune to it. I have to let go of him. I have to actually reject my own parent. He's a crippled alcoholic and I have to essentially abandon him anyways, because he's also an awful person. It is the right thing, but it feels very wrong. No matter what you have, or what you do, you will be essentially forgotten after a few generations. No matter how talented you are at something, there will always be someone way better than you. I'm nowhere near as smart, nice, or likable as I thought I was to myself. This is also the first step to becoming a smarter, nicer, and more likable person. That even thought people are hanging out with you doesn't mean that they always actually like you. I figured that out when I used to hang out with this girl, and one day she just came up to me and told me that it's annoying how I always hung around her and the other girls, and that I should probably just go away because a lot of the other girls didn't like me either. I had such a hard time trusting people after that. I didn't want to go to stuff like sleepovers or hang out after school with kids in high school, even if they did invite me, because I just had that voice in the back of my mind telling me don't hang out with them, they're only inviting you to be polite. Just decline, they'll have more fun without you. That you cannot force anyone to love you. That's the lesson I learned after my ex-stepdad removed me from visitation. Alongside my sisters, I would go to his house even after my mother and him divorced, as he was my father from I was 3 to 12, 9 years of being my father figure. He cut the chain faster than ever after gaining a second wife. Don't take anything for granted. Things change so fast and life is really short. I remember having so many friends not that long ago who are now strangers. A big one for me is how many last times you're going to have, and how often you won't realize it's a last time. Things can change so fast. Go bowling every Monday? Have a convention you and your friends go to yearly? Hang out regularly with the same people? One day is going to be the last time it happens, and almost without fail you will not know. Then you go days without talking to someone, then weeks, then months, then one day you realize that you aren't really friends anymore. No major fallout, just your lives are no longer compatible. Doing your best and giving it your all doesn't always mean things will turn out the way you want. Sometimes things just go bad. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness, that is life. Captain Jane Luckbucket. We grow up thinking that the side of evil will be clearly defined, and the villains will be super obvious, mustache-twirling Lex Luthors, while the good guys are purely righteous supermen. Turns out, right and wrong is very challenging to define. You can do everything right, give something 100% effort, follow all the rules and still fail. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Jane Luckbucket, CPTS Enterprise, NCC 1701D.